every one of us are imperfect. So that's, you know, when our kids feel like they can never meet our expectation, can never make us happy, they feel insecure. They feel not confident. When they walk out, they go out to the society, they don't have that confidence in themselves. And many parents, I have spoken to many parents, they say, my kids are very shy in front of others. You know, I don't know what's the reason, maybe it's just personality, but one thing we can do is to, you know, value them, reassure them, so that they can feel like their self-worth is equal to anybody else. So that's important, unconditional love. The other aspect is respect them as an individual, an equal individual. Not always treat them as a child. Treat them as a child. And the worst thing is that we often compare them to someone else. Compared to the other siblings, you know, if you have two children, you often see that one is different from the other. One is more 听话, you know, listen to you and do all what you want to do. But the other one is often more rebellious. And you will compare one with the other. Say, why can't you behave like your sister or your brother? You know, I think if you do this to your spouse, why can't you be like the other person's spouse? What's your spouse's reaction, right? Go marry him or marry her. And imagine that impact on our children, you know? Our children say, you know, why can't you be like my friend's son or something like that? And he's good at what. And we often do that. And I think they would say, why don't you like the other parents or something, you know, if our kids can react in that way, you know. So I think don't compare, you know, that's really, it's really not very good. So I want to end my talk here and leave plenty of time for Q&A. So, you know, talk is easy. I know that all what I have said probably is very obvious to all of you, and you have recognized that. But you would say that it's easy said than done. You know, when it comes to your own child, it's really easy said than done. And the reason is you love them. Because you love them, you care about them. They're part of you. So when my son was a very unique person, and he has a very strong personality. And because of that, me and my wife always have a lot of clash with him. So 2 years ago, he got into his friend's car, and after a drinking party, and his friend drove the vehicle at a top speed. Based on the police estimate, is about 105 miles. So the car hit a tree. My son was sitting on the second row, and he didn't wear seat belt. Always reminds, when you get in a car, wear seat belt. No matter where you sit, no matter where you're seated, wear a seat belt. Even in the bus, wear a seat belt. He did not wear a seat belt.
Okay, Gracie, 我们 question and answer, so it's the best time to pass this.
Okay, so I'm heartbroken because
你好，我叫 Lily。
Are we okay? Yeah. So when my son died, the first question came to my mind was that, did he know that I love him? I was not sure, because I felt like I did not make that clear, evident to him. And that's something I struggle even today. I know that we're not perfect parents. We're still learning along the way. No one is perfect. No one has gone to a school to learn how to be a parent. We will struggle along the way. But as long as you give your child a feeling that he's valued by you, he's loved by you, I think you'll be fine. And your child, when they grow up, become more mature, they will look back. They will know that you love them, and they will appreciate that. And that's a wonderful thing, because what we live for friends and family. That's the meaning of life. That's the end of my talk, and now I leave some for Q&A, and we have about 15 minutes left. That's great, and we're doing good in time. And I want to, in terms of Q&A, there are speakers, there are microphones out there, but I do want to pose the question first. What if your kid is bullied at school? What can you do? What's your reaction? How do you deal with that?
Can you raise your hands? Me and Jean, the microphone. Sorry for interruption earlier.
Actually, I can share something. I just myself is a teacher myself, and then I'm a teacher myself. 我是高中的老师。I'm a teacher myself, high school teacher. My son is a 5th grader. We moved last July, and then he was bullied in the bus because some kids because he's a very it's really quiet kid, so they make fun of him. Some people also pretend to speak a fake Chinese. What I did is, I went to the principal. So do not tell your kid, okay, just ignore them. Go, but you have to talk to your kid. I'm going to talk to your principal, and then you are going to stand up for yourself. But the good thing is the principal is very, very supportive. Once, twice, third time, he talked to those kids. Now he stopped. Now in the hallway, some kids still do that. They don't speak in fake Chinese or running and then push him into the wall. I talked to principal too. They are working on that because the hallway and recess and the lunchtime, this time all are very, very stressful for kids who are very quiet. And then they think, oh, especially your kids don't do sports. And then without sports, sometimes you have no value in this American society. So even though he's very, very good in piano, and then he's an academic, but then they say, oh, what's the good? However, and then the school did give him a chance to play the piano. He also is a geography B, and that does do good to him because the kids know, oh, he can play piano in such a way no one can do in school. However, this recess stuff still going on. So as any of you have kids in school, and I'm also a high school Chinese teacher, so you have to talk to in high school, talk to the dean, talk to the principal, and in the elementary school level, talk to the principal directly. You have to intervene. That's my thinking.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's very wonderful sharing your experience with us, and I think many of parents might have experienced the same. The only thing I want to add is that you need to recognize your kid's emotion during this process. You shouldn't overreact. Obviously, the natural reaction is overreact. Someone bullying my child, I will get really mad, right? Don't let your child see you're mad, but rather let them see that you're sympathetical to their feelings. You need to let their feelings out, because when you get mad, if your child is in high school, when you get so mad, next time when he was bullied, he will not let you know. The other thing is, when you get mad, they may use the same, they will have the same reaction to those who bully them. So I think important thing is recognize their feelings and also talk to them and figure out the solutions with your child together. And obviously, you need to talk to the principal. You need to talk to school. The other thing is you also need to involve your child in the whole process. If you don't involve your child for the whole process, you go do all kinds of things and your child find out and he's not happy with what you did, and that actually will make things worse. Please.
So I'd like to talk about my experience where I was the child that was bullied. So I can tell from the other point of view.
Thank you very much.
In my case, I actually went to a Chinese school, so ethnic issues weren't an issue in my case. So I was bullied by other Chinese kids. So that's, yeah, different. In my case, it was because I think I had skipped grades, so I was actually younger than everyone else in my class. Also, I guess I was a late bloomer. I was shorter than everyone else. I was not athletic, so maybe a number of contributing factors. The specific case of bullying I can mention is there was a time when there was some school lunch served of like spaghetti and meatballs or something. And the kids in my class were actually kind of, I guess, somewhat sexually vulgar. I'm going to say it very explicitly. The meatballs, they used the term meatball to refer to breasts. And they would say to me, do you want your meatballs? And if I said yes, they would make some gesture with their hand saying, oh, you've got breasts, or something to that effect. So yeah, it was that kind of harassment. And if I said, no, I don't want my meatballs, of course they would take it away. I did actually want to eat it. So that was the kind of harassment I went through. My mom counseled me like this. She said, don't answer the question outright, just say, I want my lunch, and just don't give them the benefits of that. So she focused more on the side of empower the child rather than always consulting. So that kind of gives the child a sense of confidence. I can deal with this. Now, if it were an issue of physical violence, perhaps we dealt with it differently. But it was mostly verbal abuse, and I was able to handle that. Another instance was the kids in my class would actually do things like pull down people's pants if they had rubber band pants. Those are easy to pull off. That was another form of harassment. Easy solution, wear a belt. So things of that sort. That was how my parents dealt with this. So.
Thank you very much. Yes. Yeah, there are other, even bullying can happen within Chinese community. And the other thing you mentioned that the verbal harassment is equally harmful than the physical. Anything else?
We have a question here, Paul.
Okay, sure.
I think it's more like comments to share with everyone. I think when your kids share with you about their experiences, unhappy, unpleasant experiences, first thing you want to do is to validate their feelings. You want to say, okay, well, I understand you're so upset, you're so disappointed, you're so mad. And then that's very, very important to validate their feelings. So that makes you closer to them. They're on the same page, on the same boat with your child. That's the first thing I learned that we need to do. Secondly, is something we should never ever do is that to blame the victim. Because the thing a lot of time, I know it happened in my family too, and they say when somebody bully your child or whatever happened unpleasant with your child, then as you're talking, eventually you start to blame your child and say, because of this, that's why you get this kind of responses. So this is something we should really try really hard to blame them. We know we want our kids to be perfect. So that's why we continue to say, you need to do this, A, B, C, D, so they will be perfect. Nobody will do this to you anymore. But then in reality, that will not happen. So another thing I noticed and very helpful with my kid is that you share some of your own experiences, then that make them feel like they're so connected to you. You know, I remember when my son was younger, you know, some bully, whatever comments, I don't remember exactly, but I said, you know what? The kids will always picking on you no matter what. If it's not your hair, and then they will pick about your name. And so I shared with him when I was in 4th or 5th grade, you know, a bunch of boys, whatever they bully about my hair, about my name, whatever. I said one day I stood up to myself, I hold a kind of rocks in my hand, I waited for those boys, and then, so those boys dare not to come to the classroom because I was there waiting for them. And then since then, those group of boys never bullied me again. So I shared that with my sons, and that was so empowered him so much, and he dared to stand up for himself much more. And yeah, those are my comments to share.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Because the kids actually already blame themselves when they're bullied. They felt something wrong with me. That's why I'm being bullied. I'm the target. So if you heap on top of that, maybe you somehow you did something wrong. That's even worse. And the sharing your own experience make it feel like, you know, this is you can overcome this. So that's great. Thank you very, very much.
And I just want to briefly, this is Wang Lao Shi, and she is our core volunteer leaders, and she was the one that put the program director for the Jiaozi Fest in Jerry, incredible volunteer by service, and also she's taught in Chicago Public School for 20 years. So we have this incredible, caring, capable, and funny, and just, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, this is a topic we may be able to spend a lot of time on. Let's move on. I think among yourself, if you encounter this type of problem, talk to other parents, talk to school teachers. How do you ask their advice? How do they, what would their suggestion be? So, be resourceful. I think that's all I want to leave on that topic. The other question I want to raise is that if your daughter is rejected by her dream college and she came home crying, what do? How do you comfort her? What's your suggestion? Can anyone? I would, since nobody, I would say, my natural, I have, the Chinese way of reacting to this, I'm not bashing Chinese style. I mean, there's a lot of good part of our Chinese parenting style that the Western need to learn, and also there's, on the Western side, we need to learn too. So don't always say, Chinese way is the bad way, That's not the point. But I want to say that one of the things we react to this situation is that we'll say that to next time you will do better, and that you should look into yourself and what areas of improvement you can make so that so you can be better. Even you go to a lesser college, but you learn from it this experience will make you better. Right? That's our approach. And the problem is the daughter did nothing wrong, did nothing less. It's just not a good fit. it's not a good fit. It's not like when you're rejected by a college, is that you didn't do good enough. And she already felt she may have not done good enough. You don't need to remind her of that, or not reinforce that. You don't need to reinforce that. In fact, that feeling may not be factual, may not be factually true. It's just different college will have different, they will reject very highly qualified kids. Don't say that our culture is always self-reflective. We reflect on ourselves whether we have areas of improvements. And that's good. That's in a lot of aspects is good. But in this, in terms of help the emotional side, I think you need to reaffirm that it may not be a good fit for you. And the other thing is, in your life, we'll have a lot of rejections. We'll face a lot of rejections. We cannot get all we want, and you will face rejections maybe when you're dating. You'll be rejected by a girlfriend or a boyfriend. There's nothing wrong that you are not good enough for that person or good enough for that college. That's not the point. The point is it may not be a good fit. That maybe that's just the life. So I would pose that different way of reacting to that situation. Anything else? I think we're about time, and I'll maybe give her a chance, but I want to let you know that after those 3 sessions, 3 of us will be here to answer more questions, to have more conversation with you. And after the meeting, you can come forward to me to have discussion. I don't have solution. I don't have answer to everybody to every question, but I will make sure that I share my experience with you. Hopefully, that can be helpful. So I give you the answer.
I just want to share that my daughter is just a freshman, so I do not have experience of kids being rejected by the school yet. But since she is in freshman, we've started talking about the college thing, and I've been telling her to always keep more than one option. Don't only put all of your hope in just one school. You always want to have in your bucket, you need to have like the top school, the middle ones, the lower ones. You never know, they're the ones that you never look at may turn out to be a great option for you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you so much, Paul. I learned a lot. Thank you so much for your attention and your interest. I'm just so encouraged to see the attentiveness and the interest in learning about how to help our children. And thank you for sitting there very quietly. And now